This is the Barber Blueprint. I'm not your normal internet guru. I'm a guy that's really in the trenches, really been through it, and I look forward to you getting some value from my story and from my journey as a barber in this game. I'm not standing here, the guy that's promising you that you're gonna be a millionaire, but what I am promising you is that you'll be a better barber if you apply the jewels in this book, the Barber Blueprint. All right. I'm super excited to bring this book to you. The Barber Blueprint is coming soon. It'll be available for pre-order. I wanted to put this first because we're getting closer and closer to the release. And I'm super excited about you getting value from it. I'm going to be doing a drop fade on my man Dan. Dan is Asian and has waves. Isn't that crazy? His hair texture is like unlike anything that I've ever seen before. And I appreciate that he trusts me with his hair. Typically I'll do a high and tight on Dan, but today he asked for a drop fade. So I'm using my FX Pro trimmer to go around the back, and then I'm gonna just take a little bit of baldness on that side section and get my first guideline started. And I'm gonna drop it extra low, pause, because I wanna have a lot of room to fade with. So, you know, just take that little sideburn section off, and that's it, you know. And what I'm going to do with this technique, I'm going to explain it to you even before I start it. So, the goal is to bald it out, get my first guideline, and then I'm going to go against the grain on the parietal ridge in that little back area. Forgive me for not being like all technical with my words, but you know, that little area right there in the back. I'm gonna do all of that with a four, the sides and the back. Today was an interesting day in the barbershop. The actual raw audio of this video is pretty interesting. So I'm hoping that I can release that so you can hear what we were talking about. Dan and I usually have really great conversations when he comes in for his haircut. We talk about fitness, we talk about relationships, we talk about life. Today, we talked about a combination of many different things. And because I was doing the tutorial, I didn't have any music playing in the barbershop, so you'll probably be able to hear all of the audio. I'm going with the grain on the top to preserve his wavy hair with a 4 guard on my cordless fast feeds. And just smoothing it out. 1 or 2 times going over the top is enough to smooth it out. I had made a big mistake on Dan's hair once upon a time where I put on the wrong guard and took it down a little too much. So we're still recovering from that accident. And barbers, we're gonna make mistakes every now and then. It's all right, you know. People are not gonna get out the chair and cock back and shoot you because you made a mistake, depending on the shop that you're in. You know, like, it was an honest mistake, and his cut still came out fresh because he usually gets a high and tight, but you know, I made a mistake. So right now we're going with a 4 so we can keep it long. I think a drop fade on Dan with long hair on top would be a nice look for him. He's heading to Chicago and he's got a big trip coming up. So when people have like trips coming up, seasons change, holidays or events, I like to encourage them to get a different style. And in this case, you know, he requested a different style. So I was happy to do it, man. The same old cuts every day could get a little redundant. So I'm going against the grain with the 4 to blend down the sides and the back. And the first thing I'm gonna do is blend the sides with the top. I can't start a fade like this with the hair long on top from the bottom because like it could just become a little too high and tight. When people are doing high and tights and stuff like that, I can fade from the bottom up to the top. But when people are wearing long hair on top, I like to just cut down the top, cut down the sides, and blend the top with the sides before I start blending the bald line out. And that process has been working for me. It's been serving me. I'm gonna go with the grain along that ridge with the 3 guard, just to kind of smooth out, so it kind of goes from a 4 to a 3, and take it down with the grain and just blend that out. You know, that line will come out. It's not really too blatant, but you know, we just want to get that blended out. I I want to give a special shout out to the person that left a comment saying that I should do more fades. I want to give you your props. Hold on, let me grab this and see. I don't remember your name, dog. Ralph Allen 8851. Appreciate you leaving the fire emojis on the cut and requesting for more fades. So when I plugged up the camera to do this one, I had you in mind. So this one is dedicated to you. I worked my way down here with a two guard on my fast feeds, just to kind of get those sides blended in. And I appreciate all the comments and all the love on the channel. We've been getting a lot of views lately. I noticed that you guys are watching older videos on the channel. I mean, it warms my heart so much to see that we're still getting engagement on some of the older videos on the channel. I took a different route with talking about business on this channel, and those videos hadn't done as well. But a lot of the business jewels that I talked about, I'm just taking it to the next level in my book, The Barber Blueprint, and I hope that you get some value from that. Let me know in the comments if you want me to read a little bit of the book to you. I mean, I'm all for that. Now, anybody that's familiar with my channel, you know that I like to take down the front. I don't like cliffs on the front, so we'll go like an open blade on the front, and I go sideways just to take those extra hairs down and just soften that line. You know what I mean? Like, because if it goes from a 4 to just a line, it'll look like a big cliff right there. So I just want to smooth that out, and I always do that on most of my clients when I do fades. I learned that from my OG at Urban Cuts, Jimmy Stanfield, and I learned a lot about barbering from watching, and I talk about that in the book as well. So when I explain this stuff, I'm not gonna explain it like your instructor or your teacher or one of the YouTube guys. I'm explaining it like a hood dude from the east side of Buffalo, because that's how I learned it. I'm taking down the top with my fast feed blade all the way closed, just hitting the split ends free-handed, and you can see it smoothing out already. Yo, it's just kind of crazy, like, you know, just how wavy Dan's hair is. I'm a little envious. You know, if I still had hair, you know, I'd be out here killing it with the waves, 360 waves with the taper, man. My edge up might be a little too far back to be getting a fade. I don't want to be looking like I got like a yarmulke on, nothing like that. So, you know, the body fits me. We got Mr. West checking in, walking in. You know, he was on me about not playing any music in the barbershop. And typically we don't do graveyard funeral home vibes in the barbershop. When I'm locked in, I'm locked in. Speaking of music, this beat that you're listening to right now is a track from my album. It's called Run This Forever. And I wanted to bring lighthearted vibes to my new album, ABV, Always Been Valid. And it'll be releasing soon. Waiting on some cover artwork and some mixes for that, and that'll be out. I'm gonna start blending my line out on the bottom with my Babyliss FX Pros, and I'll work my lever down just to blend it out. You know, just chip at it a little bit. I don't go too deep into the line. You know, just enough to take that line out and then work my way up from there. And as far as the album, so what had happened was I spent 18 months working on this book, and then I had some expansion plans for the barbershop that fell through. And I just, you know, got a little hard on myself. I went into the dungeon for a second, just tried to regroup. And I was just like, you know what, let me just pick out some beats. Let me just book some studio time. And I got in the lab, and 3 weeks later I had a project. So I'm very proud of this project. It's a lot different than Intelligent Hoodlum. And it talks about like all the things that I've been through in the past few years. So on Intelligent Hoodlum, it was like a introspective, soulful album with the, you know, lyricism and the pain in it. But this right here, like, I kept it lighthearted vibes, the summer vibes. I talked about all the fun things I did, places that I went, as far as different countries and things like that. And I think this album will be well received. It definitely will be something that you can play in your barbershop. I'll play in my shop, and once I come connect with you on the road to sell the book, I'm definitely gonna plug up to your Bluetooth and your aux so we can play that ABV, that new Valid, cause it's fire, man. Let me know in the comments if you are already familiar with my music. If you are, I'd like to know. Leave a comment. I have another channel on YouTube, Valid the Ruler, where you can listen to all my music, watch all my videos and things like that, and look out for some new videos coming soon. So I was thinking like, and let me know if I should do this or not. I was thinking like, should I do a barbershop video? Like literally like a music video with performance footage in the shop. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in seeing. And I think we could get the gang together and put something together. You know what I'm saying? We get the video girls twerking on the barber chairs and things like that. It'd be a little crazy. So I'm just still blending out this line with my Babyliss FX Pros. I always take the bottom line out with that. You hardly ever see me using guards on these clippers because they're the only clipper that I have. These are the only clippers that I have that are 0 gap. So if I have them joint 0 gap, then they will eat my guards. So I don't really put guards on there too much unless there's somebody with like super duper tough hair, super duper tough coarse hair, and I have to use a guard, then I'll use my Babyliss Pros. But for takedowns and blends, I'm talking about like longer hair, my magic clips or my fast feeds do the job just fine. So on this channel, you're probably only going to see me using these Babylisses to blend out bottom lines, never really to take down bulk. I would use them freehand, but my fast feeds are a lot lighter. So if I'm doing like freehand work, then I prefer to use a lighter clipper for that. And the only reason why I won't use my magic clips for freehand work is just because they're not that sharp and crispy, to be honest with you. Just my opinion on those clippers. So drop a comment, let me know what clippers you are using. Let me know if you want to see me do some fades with some different clippers too, because I'm willing to do that. Anything but those Andis Masters. I already got a video on this channel doing a fade with those, so we're not going to re-explore that. You want to see me doing a fade with those, you go watch that video. Give me some new clippers, some new school clippers, something fresh off the press. And then I can thug it out like that. Also, let me know where you are located so I can come see you with the Barber Blueprint. I want to pull up, connect, tap in with different shops, soak up the culture, see how you give it up, check your price list, all of that stuff, man. Let's connect. I feel like this game, we all pretty much do the same thing, yet we're lacking unity. The only time where I feel like we really connect is at the trade shows and the conventions, and even then you still don't see everybody. There's somebody in the barbershop that is so burnt out from doing all the heads from a Saturday, Friday, they ain't trying to pull up on a Sunday to a convention. Those are the guys that I want to talk to. The guys that are crushing it so hard that feel like they need to fire relit. So here I'm going against the grain with my, oh my God, is that a 2 or 3? That is a 3. So I'm going against the grain with my 3 just to take that down and make that side blendable. I'm just working my way down the mountain here. But the people that are like crushing it so hard that they aren't going out for the extracurricular activities, not checking the Hanzo Shear class, not going to CT Expo, not even watching barber videos or making barber videos. You know, I like to talk to those guys because they have the knowledge. Like there's so much experience that we all have, but we don't really connect and talk to each other about it. I think that needs to change. And I'll take some accountability too, because I'm not in I don't use Facebook at all. So I'm not in every barber chat on Facebook. I'm in some Reddit groups on Facebook. And if you guys are a part of Reddit groups, barber groups, and tap me in. Let me know. I would share some of my content in Reddit, but I do so much other stuff in Reddit. I like to remain anonymous. But I'll pull up in the barber group and talk to y'all, and y'all might not even know it's me. Y'all just have to figure it out, the clues. Making these videos has been like relighting my fire too, because I can be that guy at times, you know, like going into the dungeon to write a book, write an album, handle administrative affairs of the barbershop. You know, cutting can become robotic. It can become like second nature. And doing these videos definitely got me like turning up the quality a little bit. So I'm highly leveraged at this point in my, you know, I got a skill set. I'm highly leveraged on experience, building and connecting with my clients, you know, being memorable and being personable so that they want to come to me. And my cuts are good enough to go by, right? But turning on the camera, you know, got me turning up, making sure the fades are blurry. I'm talking about so y'all barbers could really see the blurry fades and the crispy fades. Because, you know, clients, they know good quality. But, you know, there could be a mistake in their cut and they might not even notice it. So there's not, you know, there's not a such thing as a perfect haircut. But, you know, I try to get my close to perfection when this camera is on, because I know y'all gonna watch this and break down every little single molecule of hair or line and things like that. So this haircut took a little bit longer than usual because of that. So usually I could smoke a service in like 20 minutes and we kick it, you know, for a little bit. But here, I think I might have tapped out maybe 30 minutes. Now I don't know what the nation average is on haircuts. I believe 30 minutes is the sweet spot. Longer than 30 minutes is kind of long. Shorter than 30 minutes is kind of fast. And if you do a cut too fast, then I believe that some quality will be sacrificed no matter what. You're going to sacrifice a little bit of quality, because you're going after the quantity. More people, high volume. And then once you do that, you're doing the speedy cuts, the quick cuts. You can't really charge a premium price. Like anything that's fast loses quality, so you can't, you know, it's gonna be cheap. Fast and cheap goes together, you know. All right, so this is my one guard on my fast feeds. I'm going against the grain, taking it up a little bit, blending that section down right there. But yeah, you got speed, cheap, and quality. You can never have all three. If you get something that's quality, it's gonna cost. If you get something that's fast, it's gonna be cheap. And if you get something cheap, then why would you even pay for it? All right, so I think you get it. You get where I'm going. You get where I'm going with it. I want to be right in that sweet spot. Quality and fair speed. How much do you guys charge for cuts? Right now, I'm charging $50 for a cut. 50 flat. Kids 30, 35. Adults 50. And typically people put a 30% tip on that, so it's about $65 for my 20 plus years of professionalism. And I'm proud to say that I'm at that price point, and I definitely deserve it for all the work that I put in. But you know, there are some people out here that's going up to the 70, 80, and I'd like to know, like, you know, how's your schedule looking? Because I turn my schedule on, and you know, I'm getting booking, so I know I'm at a sweet spot. It's not fully booked on the weekdays, but you know, weekends fully booked. If people are turning on their schedule with the high price and you ain't got nobody, that joint looking empty, you are charging way too much. Way too much. So it's good to know where you are in your skill set, where you are as far as pricing, and I talk about a lot of these concepts in the book, The Barber Blueprint. Come into a mailbox near you. I break down so much stuff in this book, from marketing to sales, pricing, service, burnout, my history and growth, how I started from trial and error, and I believe it'll be a good read. I'm very proud of this effort that I put into this book. I've never ever written a book before, and it's a different process than writing an album. Writing an album is like, you know, different songs, different concept. With writing a book, I had to kind of set aside like every subject that I wanted to discuss with you all. So here's my smallest guard on my fast feeds, and I'm just gonna chop away the little, just literally just a little bit with my blade all the way open, so I don't take down too much hair on that side. Because I've already gone, to be honest with you, a little bit higher than I'd like on the side. So I'm gonna be real delicate and work my way down with my guards with my blade all the way open on the side section. But as far as the book, I wanted to set aside, like, it basically start with keynotes, everything that I wanted to talk about in the book. And then once I got that, then I thought about all the technical knowledge that I could think of, you know, for each keynote. And then once I got that, then I started to think of stories, you know, teachable moments in my life that brought me some of the knowledge that I have. Some of it is from reading, and some of it is from actual experience. So you get in the real-time technical knowledge, the real-time experience knowledge, and some interesting stories in the mix, because I done been through it all, and it ain't over yet. It ain't over yet. So this is the one guard against the grain, blade all the way open, just chopping it down just a little bit, not going up too high into that fade. Please feel free to share some of your interesting stories in the comments. Flood this joint with comments. Flood this joint with likes. We're gonna run this up. And in my opinion, I think this, out of the new season of tutorials, this is the best one. So far, this will be number 4 out of my new season of tutorials. Episode 4 in the Barber Blueprint saga here. I asked somebody, you know, if they liked the tutorials the other day, and it was like, yo, you doing your thing. So it wasn't like a real score of like 7 out of 7 or 5 out of 5, you know. Yeah, I'm doing it, but how's it looking now? How's the audio sounding now? Look at, I'm even pointing out the flaws. That line right there, and then I'm coming back with my one guard. Oh, that's my 2 guard, all the way open. Audio good, shots good, music good. I mean, we're gonna level up, baby. This is how we do. I'm a very competitive person, in case you didn't know. So tell your favorite influencer barber that Valid is coming. The Barber Blueprint is coming. Fade in full is coming. Let them know. Tag them in the comments. All that. I want to bring on some of the barbers that I know and love on the channel too. So, for instance, we got Dr. Ty, whom I know. I know Drew Nice. I see he's getting busy with his truck down in Florida. I want to check on him. I want to check on my man Gilbert at the high-end barbershop in Jersey. Last time I was out there, I did not get a chance to, you know, we didn't do footage. You know, I didn't want to go too crazy with the footage. And there's another guy that I like too. And this guy, Will Perez in Florida. I follow him, and I've never ever seen him cut, but he posts like a lot of workout videos. And I love his workout videos. He get busy with the workout videos. So, you know, I think it's pretty cool that, you know, we do barbering and we have like other interests too. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, once you get to a point in your career, in your life cycle as a barber where you have status and some freedom, then you can explore some other areas of creativity. For him is fitness, and for me, I've always been simultaneously doing rap and barbering at the same time. So I'm just happy that I'm living in an era where I can do it on a high level. You know, I can actually show the world how I cut, and I can actually, you know, tap in with different people that can enjoy my music outside of my community. So it's a beautiful time. Back to the haircut. I'm getting busy on Dan's fade with my blade all the way open, just chopping it down. So a little bit higher than I'd like, but still dropped in the back, you know. A little bit higher than I like, but you know, that. So you would have to see a picture of how Dan's hair usually looks. So he usually has high and tight. So this definitely ain't no high and tight. but I wanted to drop it just a little bit more. The thing with these types of haircuts though is when people ask for, you know, light fades, drop fades, you leave that hair long on the side and it just looks horrible from the front to me. So, you know, taking it down just a little low, that'll be all right in a few days. And I'm going over that cliff again right here with my blade all the way open. You know, I don't know if you remember, like back in the day, maybe this is only me, my barber eyes. You know, people would come to school with fresh haircuts and that joint be too tight and fresh. But after like 2-3 days, then it really sets in. You know, you get, especially like with bald fades, you know, after maybe 2-3 days, that's when you get that sauce where it's really looking good. You know, I don't know if you have ever cut somebody, then you go out and see them later after they didn't wash their hair and laid it down and did whatever they did to it, and it just looks like it's crispy and different. The cut will always look a little bit different once people go out and live than it does when you first show them the mirror. So it's a difference, and I want you to keep that in mind. So get it as fresh as possible when they're in the shop with you, and you know, their lifestyle will do the rest if they are somebody that takes care of their hair. I'm gonna do Dan's line with my trimmers. So his hair doesn't typically lay down when I use the foam, so you get a chance to see me do a trimmer line, which is not my norm. For some people, you know, they get it, some people don't. I know what tips and tricks to use on some and what not to use on others. And I'm gonna use a dry razor here because the foam just doesn't do it for this hair type. So the foam works here. I'm sorry, the foam does not work here. And you don't have to jam the blade. Oh man. See the reflexes? Dan almost lost his line. But you know, I know how to stay alert when I'm doing this stuff. And just taking out the little hairs with the FX trimmer. Doing it how I do. I also considered reacting to some tutorials. I do not watch tutorials. So I think it may be entertaining for me to watch one. So let me know who I should watch. I know that some barbers are doing reaction tutorials. Tell them barbers to react to my tutorials. Send them this. I'd love to know like what some of these guys think about how the VALED give it up. Cause I'm looking at this cut and I'm thinking that I'm getting busy on it, man. Like a lot of barbers would see this guy, Dan, and walk right out. They be like, I ain't messing with that. I'm not him. I'm gonna attack any haircut that comes my way. It's rare that I turn down haircuts. Now, usually I don't turn down haircuts because of the hair. I may turn it down because of the personality, or you know, they want a $10 cut or something like that. Yeah, of course I'm turning that down. But you know, a good paying customer that just, you know, wants something crazy, you know, I'll let them know, like, you know, this ain't really my specialty, but you know, I can make it happen. When you have like a lot of time and confidence, you know, you can attack a haircut. You know, you can get in there and get it done. It doesn't really take much. All you gotta do is go through your fundamentals. Every technique doesn't work on everybody. So even this, you know, just trimming that little hair with my shear, you know, combing it every which way because of his hair type. And just cutting it with the shears because the razor may not catch it, the trimmer may not catch it. But you know, what if my man just put on a hat and take the hat off. I want that line to still be looking crispy and clean and good. So, you know, different people get different techniques. There's no like cookie cutter formula to haircuts. Everybody gets it a different way. Some things are fundamentally the same, but everybody's hair is different, skin different, personality different, and you need to keep that in mind going into every haircut. Dan knows that he's getting fresh, man. He trusts me so much, man. It feels so good to know that your customers trust you. You know, I've had years and years and years, especially in the beginning, of doing people that just don't trust you, want to hold the mirror, look in the mirror every 2 seconds. Like, that's, you know, we can't cut under conditions like that, man. People just got to lay back and relax and let us do our job. And Dan is one of those people, so I appreciate him for that. For the most part, everybody that you've seen me do on this new season of tutorials, I've been cutting them for a while. So hopefully, before I leave and go on tour, we can catch a new person, you know, catch a walk-in that's willing to be on cam. Like a crazy before and after would be fire. Like somebody, like, I don't know if you remember the video of, you know, people that are new to the channel might not know this. There was a video that I did once upon a time where I went outside and just grabbed a random person from the street and gave them a haircut. We need that type of energy. Maybe I'll do that one of these days. Today would have probably been a great day to do it, but we'll see. We'll see. It's got to be crazy though. Something wild and crazy. Now, they asked me for some pompadour, some type of like, you know, Fonz looking Happy Days hairstyle, then man, we might see America's funniest home videos on the Fade and Flow channel. Cause all those haircuts where you're using like powders and pomades, those aren't my specialty. I've done some haircuts that were, oh my god, they were in bad shape. Putting in the pomades and stuff. I used to like, I ain't gonna lie to you, I've done some people consistently, and I knew that their cut wasn't that great, but you know, they just really rock with me. Man, it was practice. So I'm gonna do a little bit of light enhancement on Dan. Enhancements are meant to enhance, so just spray in that section in the middle, boom. Now, I'm not gonna do Dan's corners or anything like that. I just want to enhance it a little bit to where you don't even notice that it's there. And that's what I did. Now let's check out the close-up. Oh man, you see that? You see that? Dan, my man, you are right. You are looking good. Yo, what are we gonna say about this? It's nothing but top-notch perfection. The blend looks good. The waves are in there. The fade is dropped. And I appreciate y'all checking me out. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, alright? Peace.